Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zaria. I make veganism, personal growth, spirituality, and financial freedom content. So if those are things that interest you, stay tuned, see if you want to subscribe. All right, we'll get right into it. Today's video is actually a little money talk, figuring out how to budget, just the very beginnings. Like I said, this is a beginner's channel right now. So really just focused on the beginnings of understanding and having control over your own finances. Yeah, and some precursors to this actually include my most recent video in the Power of Research series. I'll put it in the description box below as well as in the cards. And that video is just about understanding your finances and how to do that through research. Right. Okay. These first 10 steps are all about your mentality around money and budgeting, just to help you get into the actual process of it, because just because you know how to do it doesn't mean you will, or it will come naturally to you. So that's all about what the mentality is for. The first mentality little tip I have about money is budgeting and knowing what it is. Budgeting just means spending your money in an intentional way, giving all of your money an intention, instead of like other feelings or actions or usages for it. Yeah, and I'll get a little bit more into that specifically. But I'm gonna move on. These first 10 little steps are all about mentality. Budgeting is really just giving all of your money an intention, intentionally spending your money instead of giving it other usages or feelings or actions. Yeah, and I'm gonna get more into that, but I'm just gonna go through the 10 tips, and they'll start to weave together. Everything will start to make sense. So number 2 is, the thing about budgeting is if you're focused on using your money to survive, then you cannot focus on using your money as a tool or to do more than just survive, because you're focused on survival. And this is for people who are in places where you feel like you're living paycheck to paycheck or less than paycheck to paycheck. Like that, there isn't really room for budgeting if you basically have already pre-given your money intentions. And by pre-giving, I just mean things like when you sign a lease, or when you have a power bill and a water bill, you know that's going to be coming every month. Internet, you know that's going to be coming every month. Any debt or credit cards, like you know that's going to be coming every month. You have already given it, so you have to give it. So basically things like that, pre-giving your money. I just wanted to put that out there, that if you're focused on survival and using your money to survive and just exist and have your basic needs, then you don't really have the room yet with your money or your mental capacity about money to go ahead and start budgeting it for other things like your savings or interest or just daily life. So, but there is more. I do have more, just in case anyone is in that position but feels like they could be budgeting or using their money a bit more wisely. Okay. Number 3 is it goes back into number one. So viewing spending as intention instead of just something you have to do or you have to give up or something that just happens. Because spending is an intentional choice. Um, and once you view it as a choice of where you're putting your money instead of, oh, my money has to go here or my money has to go here, whether it has to go there for your needs or not, when you view it as an intentional way of spending your money that way, it kind of shifts your mindset from seeing money as something you need, which, okay, is the next step. So, number four is money is a tool and a resource. It's not a goal or a purpose or an achievement or an accomplishment. Um, Money is something to help you get the things you need in this world. Sadly, you have to have money to have basic needs. And um, it's also a tool to help you get the things you want in this world, the things you desire, the surroundings and environment and experiences you desire, even. So, seeing money as a tool that you intentionally choose to use in different places of your life in order for you to live, I wouldn't say your best life, I'm going to say your desired life. In order to live your desired life, um, that is a giant shift in mindset already. Coming from anything really. Because in the society today, we are told that we need money, we have to have money if we want to survive, and that you don't really get to choose how to spend your money. You're gonna have to pay rent, you're gonna have to pay bills, you're gonna have to have credit card debt. Like, there's all these things that society tells us about what we have to do with money and what we need money for, when in reality, money is just out there as a tool and as a resource for us to use and utilize, not to rely on. Okay. Number five, so all of those things that I've kind of mentioned, 1 through 4, were sort of towing on the line of limiting beliefs. And limiting beliefs are just things that you believe about yourself or about the things around you in the world that keep you in a box and put limits on what you can do and how you can feel and who you are. When in reality, there are no limits on any of those things. There's no limits at all. So any limiting belief, this is number 5. Wow. Any limiting belief that you have now, if you don't address it or pay attention to it or acknowledge it, it's just going to fester and grow and become worse as you move into having different streams of income, maybe multiple streams of income, as you move into becoming an entrepreneur or a business owner, maybe a personal brand. Like, those things are just going to amplify inside your business finances. It's not going to disappear just because you have a business and you feel like, oh, I'll treat my business money differently, or I'll have money with my business and I just personally don't have money, so that's why I can't figure out how to use it. Those beliefs, once you move into business, is really not only going to amplify because now you have business and personal finances, but it's going to amplify because a business, having business and business finances kind of puts an added pressure on you if you already feel like money is something highly unattainable, or you feel like money is something you're gonna have to have if you want to survive as an entrepreneur. It's really, it kind of shifts your focus from being a business person and being an entrepreneur and working and doing what you have to do, to a mindset of working in order to survive once again. And I believe that's definitely not why most people become entrepreneurs. I know it's not why I'm trying to become an entrepreneur. And if you are trying to become an entrepreneur just to survive in life, you have to make sure you understand that you do genuinely still want to be an entrepreneur, whether it would help you survive in life or not. Number 6 is saving and investing are necessary if you want to stop feeling like you're always chasing the bag. So, one thing I definitely don't say about my life or about my money is that I'm chasing it, or I'm chasing my dreams. Like, I'm not chasing them, I'm already living in them. It's the choice of words and the mentality, that verbiage and the way that you use words surrounding money or anything in your life are important. When you talk about chasing something, it means you're never gonna catch it. It means you're always gonna be striving to have it. But if I say I'm literally living in my desired reality right now, I have all I need. Like, the point is, when you start looking at saving and investing, you step away from having a limited set amount of resources. And by resources, I mean money. I'm going to continue to refer to money as a resource and as a tool, because that's what it is. When you start using that resource and start, I don't want to say stockpiling, because stockpiling can also happen within your savings, and now it's just sitting there doing nothing. Sure, most savings have a little bit of interest on them, but if all you're doing is saving and there's no investment or growth with your money, then you're kind of still in that same boat where you're living with a limited amount of resources. Investing creates more of that resource for you. And I don't just mean investing where like you're investing in the stock market or like you're opening up a business. I mean investments of your time and your energy as well. If you're someone who's usually working 40 hours a week and you take 5 of those hours off of work to work on maybe a side hustle or something that will grow you passive income over time, that is an investment. That's an investment of your energy that usually would have turned straight into money right then and there. But now you're using that investment to make you more money in the future. To give you more of that resource in the future. Yeah, that was number 7. No, that was number 6 and 7. Started touching on 7. Wow. Okay. The rest of number 7 is save where you can and take help where you can. So you know how like all those subscription places and the gym down the street, they'll always have these random promotions where it's like, oh, go ahead and sign up today and we'll waive the annual fee, or sign up today, get 3 months for the price of 1 month. Save your money where you can. Any of those deals, like it actually adds up to a lot over time, whether you realize it or not, and it keeps more of that resource for you. To me, if I see or I know a place is usually always running deals around a certain time in the year, or they're just frequently running deals, I'm genuinely going to wait until that deal starts and the deal is running, so that I don't use more of my resource than necessary. Yeah, and take help where you can. Just also means things like if you need bill assistance, and you need to call those numbers to actually get help with your bills, or you need food stamps or things like that. Like, take them where you need them. If you are living um, at a point in life where you're barely figuring out like how to and where to put your money, and you genuinely, you're like, I think I have enough, but I don't really have enough, or I have right at enough, I have right, like, right above enough, go ahead and reach out, take the help you need. And the worst thing someone can tell you is no. The worst thing they can say to you is, no, we actually think you don't need this help. And what you do is, if you really know you need the help, find somewhere else that will give you the help you need. To find that help, all you have to do is do a little bit of research. So check the rest of my How to Research series out if you guys don't know how to research or how to find things for yourselves, because I think it's an important skill for everyone to know. Of course, I'm here to help give the information from my experiences and my research, but it's never a bad thing to know how to research yourself, and it actually is super beneficial to you, and can help you really get all the information you specifically need and want, instead of hearing a lot of information from a lot of different people that are giving you like tidbits in each different section of life that you need, but you need um, a whole holistic view of like one area, and that's what you're really looking for. So research. Yeah. And all of those videos are actually linked down below as well. Okay. Number eight is so I want you to now take out some paper, some pen, pause the video if you have to, and define these things for yourself. What is money? What is a budget? What is saving? What is spending? What is investing? And I want you to answer all of them two different ways. One, what have they usually looked like for you in the past? And two, what are they going to look like for you from now on and for the rest of time? Like, what is your mindset shift that you're trying to achieve when you think about those things? Instead of what you used to think about, what are you trying to think about? This is the first step in changing limiting beliefs about money, and about your finances. All right. Number 9 is get comfortable with financial planning. Get familiar and comfortable with financial planning. And that doesn't just mean month by month, like week by week. I also mean, okay, if you know in about 5 years you want to buy a house, what do your finances need to look like? And how are you going to get there? Like, from today up to the 5 years, what needs to happen with your finances for you to be able to buy that house? If you know you want to have a really large family one day, probably in like 10 years, what do your finances need to look like from now until then? And then at that 10 years, what do they need to look like in order for you to not feel like you're having to chase the bag? Number 10. So, you still have your paper and pen out, hopefully, because you're still gonna keep writing a little bit more. Sit with the rest of this video and just answer these questions for yourself. Be specific about, list the individual bills, list your individual income streams, and list the dates that you receive those streams and the dates that those bills are due and or automatically come out of your account. If you guys are like, wait, I didn't catch any of the questions, just go down in the description and all of the questions and everything is written out for you. Yeah. So also make sure you write down a spending budget for yourself based on how often you get paid, just to start off with, and then adjust it as necessary. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. But just so you know, those are the things that I'm really trying to help you with today. I'm gonna ask you some questions, help you figure it out. And to do that, I'm also going to pull up a little budget in the screen. It's just a little made up budget. My friend gave me a little budget game and I played it. I was having fun. I played it, and we're just gonna use the first 3 months to give an example of how to write a budget. So the questions that you need to go ahead and ask yourself and write them down are: what money do you have now? So literally, physically, you already have it. Not it's still pending or it comes in this Friday. No, the money that you literally have right now. What do you have? Your savings, your check-ins, all in any accounts with cash you have. Literally write it down. And then, what money do you have coming in soon? So what money, like, you've already made it, but it's just not in. Not I have to work for 2 weeks next week and then the week after that I get paid. No, I'm talking about these past 2 weeks. I get paid this Friday because I already worked it and they already sent my paycheck. What money is coming in soon? Okay, and then what money is coming out now? So what money is coming out before you receive more money? And that's what the now is. What money is coming out before you receive any more money? Okay. What is coming out soon? So that's after you receive more money, what money is going to come out? And then what are you saving for? Do you have specific savings goals? Are you trying to start saving for a down payment on a car? Are you trying to save to move apartments? Are you trying to save for this really nice cat tree for your cats? Like, what, any big or small saving goals you have, what are you trying to save for? Okay, what things are you paying on long term? So do you have any student loans? Do you have credit card debt? Do you have any other loans and debts that you're paying on? Did you take out a little afterpay on a laptop and you're still paying on it for the next 3 months? What long-term payments that are recurring are you still, do you have now and you're still going to have? And also write down how long you'll be paying on the rest of those, if it's something like a installment payment or anything like that. Okay, how do all of these interact with and impact each other? And that's the very last step. It's really, if you look at a budget sheet, that's what you should see. You should be able to see how do all of these interact and impact each other. And let me just go ahead and show you guys the budget sheet I use. It's just a Google form template, not Google form. It's a Google Sheet template. I believe it's called monthly budget or budget. And you guys will see it now. Okay. All right, y'all. So, the budget game just started with: where do I live? Where's my commute? What car do I have? How do I get to places? What job do I have? And how much money do I make? So there's all of the money portion. And I just said that I just found some random job. I have part-time as an ESL teacher. Okay, so my first month's budget, I had to buy a car and also get an apartment. So that apartment came with a down payment, and the down payment actually was helped with by my family. That's what happened in the little game. So this is how much money I physically earned from my jobs for that week, which was not 2000, which was $3,456.50. And okay, I also kept a regular checking balance. That was just how much money I had usually. I had as well a savings account. And then, yeah, those are all the only things I had here. All right. So with that, if I click and hold all of these, it will show me how much everything added up to. Those are my bills on this side. Expenses, I apologize. And this was my income on this side, which was equal. They were equal. All right. And let me just show you how and where everything went. Okay. I know that the car insurance was super high because this was the beginning of the car insurance. So I was like paying the starter's fee and the first month's and a whole lot of stuff like that. So I knew that this bill was going to be less in my next month. And that's just something I was keeping track of in my head. I knew that I wasn't going to need to pay for this $1,200 down payment, so my rent was usually going to be $600. And then my utilities, I found a place that was free for utilities, had a free washer and dryer, things like that. So that's what I mean by saving anywhere you can. If you're looking for a new apartment and they actually provide utilities inside of the rent price, depending on where else you would go, that's saving you some money, saving you another bill that you don't have to pay. Okay, so as you can see, these numbers are kind of like this. These numbers after my credit card and before the monthly MARTA pass were all kind of they fluctuate each month because these two were just random expenses that had come up during the month. My aunt was like, oh yeah, I'll help you with this $1,200 down payment for the house if you not the house, the apartment, if you just take me out to dinner. So that's what I had to do, right? Grandma's visit, I can't remember why I said I had to do that, but I believe that was like a flight and a cab cost. So yeah, because I stayed at her place, that would make the most sense. All right, moving into month 2, you can see a lot of everything clearer. So with month 2, like I said, both the rent and the car insurance went down. And then let me see, was my renter's insurance more the first month? Yes, my renter's insurance was more the first month. So my renter's insurance also went down, which means I was able to put more in my savings account, as well as I added some to my regular checking balance. I had an emergency expense of $1,100 for a new transmission in my car, so that had to come out. And none of these actually take into account when I'm receiving this money. Or actually, I see that I received it all on the 8th, which is, I don't know. I should have done this where I received it at different times so you guys could see that in real time. But yeah, that was a new transmission. So once again, if I add up all of these, it's 3,476, and this is going to be 3,476. And like I said, budgeting is all about intentionally spending your money, which means when you write your budget down, all of your income should be equal to all of your expenses. And I don't mean like your actual expenses that are like your car and your rent and your food. I mean, any excess you have after spending on your necessities and your bills, and maybe giving yourself a little bit of entertainment, should go into savings and an interest account, or maybe paying off a little extra debt, because that is technically a sort of investment. But yeah, you should make sure all of your money has an intention, so that it doesn't just end up in your regular checking balance, and then all of a sudden next month, when you want to start a new business endeavor, or you have an emergency expense, you can't afford it. Okay, so this was the first quarter sort of overview. And this checking balance actually does, on the front page, give you a summary of everything. It'll tell you, like, I'll go to the second month. It'll tell you how much you're increasing in savings every month, how much you saved each month. I don't know where I got that $2,000 from that I saved. It is a little wonky, so you do have to kind of make everything match the way it's supposed to. But I'll get back to the third month. So the third month, this is the last one I'll show you guys. This was just I added the third month with the first 2 months. So this is a quarterly review of my budget. So I genuinely can't remember why I highlighted these, but over 3 months, this is how much I had to spend on rent. And remember, that first month was a lot higher. Over 3 months, that was my car payment. Over 3 months was my car insurance. The first month was higher, as well with renter's insurance. And then my savings, I was able to save $842 over 3 months. I spent over $2,000 on food. I did $400 of entertainment over 3 months. My personal items, those are just like random miscellaneous objects inside the grocery store that I forget I need. And then there was my student debt. I paid $400 over the last 3 months. My credit card was $200 over the last 3 months. I spent almost $3,000 on emergency random expenses in the last 3 months. So that tells me, if I'm making my budget in the future, I would personally want to try to find a month where I don't have an emergency and put $1,000 in my bank account, because it shows me that my monthly emergencies usually cost up to $1,000. So I would want to have a savings that said, okay, I can afford an emergency and I'll still be living fine. And honestly, I would probably still use my income for that month instead of the $1,000 I saved, because if I still have that income and I'll be fine spending that income anyways, that just means I have $1,000 in my savings for any future emergency that I genuinely cannot afford. Okay, then the MARTA passed, and I ended up with a little over $250 for my regular checking balance. I believe the game told me I ended up in a relationship the third month, so I split like movie tickets or something. I cannot remember. But this is how much I made in that 12 months from my jobs. And this is how much was given to me or I was helped out with over those 3 months. Which means in total, it was about $15,000 over 3 months that I wouldn't say juggled around, but I sort of had to work with. But as you can see, it didn't, it wasn't $3,000 each month in reality. That was a little over four. I think that was almost 47,000, and this was a little bit over three, which tells me that this last month, um, I ended up with a lot. I don't know where it came from, honestly.
Hey y'all, so I'm editing this video and I realized that not only was that not a 3 month budget, it was a triennial budget, which means it was 1/3 of the year, which means it was 4 months. So that's why the numbers seem a little like extra off on the last budget section. But I also just wanted to tell you guys that yeah, actually that's all I wanted to tell you guys. I don't know why I was like think I was trying to film an outro too because I'm not done editing it, but I think I didn't film an outro for it.
Wait a second. 744. 744 is 14. Oh, I think I took on extra shifts at the ESL place my last month for the third month. I was just about to say something's a little off, but yeah. And that's what I mean. When you have everything written down and you're looking at the budget, you can see when some numbers are a little off, or like, whoa, I did not realize I was spending so much in that area, or hey, I could spend a little more in this area. I can use my money more intentionally. That's really the purpose of budgeting, to have um, that control and that intention over your own resources and tools. But yeah, y'all, um, that's all really about budgeting. That's all the information I have to give today. So, if you have any questions, any comments, or you just want to talk about some mindset stuff more, maybe you want to get some advice on some budgeting, just comment down below. Comment down below. Hit me up on Instagram. My Instagram is in the description on the screen. It's all right here. And let's talk about it. Let's chat about it. The community is here for a reason. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you learned something. I know I did. And yeah, if you like this video, please like. I know it doesn't sound like it is a lot for us on YouTube, but it really is. And like my favorite YouTubers say, it only takes you like 1 second. Please, for 1 second. So like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and you'll know when we upload, which is very, very often. Always check my YouTube channel about page just to know the exact uploading schedule. But yeah, thank you all for watching once again. Thank you, thank you. But yeah, I'll see y'all soon. Bye, bye, bye.